Hey guys, 1952 Jeep here. Today I'm going to show you something that's pretty doggone handy. I just picked this up at a Love's truck stop. It's a small 300 watt power inverter and the thing was regular $35, $5 at the $5 off at the register, and a $10 mail-in rebate. So basically $20 for the little guy. And what I got it for was to run this little tool that I use in my industry. Most of the time we're inside a building, and I wouldn't need nothing like this. But sometimes I do wind up out at pedestals and such, and having that right there saves a lot of time as opposed to using the manual one where you twist wires on by hand. So I went ahead and sprung for this little guy, and I'm going to take it one step further. I'm going to go ahead and hardwire it into the van and make it a permanent fixture. Wasn't very expensive, so, and I should just, you know, if I do have to give the van up or something, I'll just unplug it and hand it to them. But pretty much what it's going to take is I'm going to have to extend these cords here, and I have got some number 6 gauge. All I'm going to need is a single wire and a short piece for the return side. I'm going to bring a single wire up through this firewall. I'm going to follow the cable that pops the hood, because it comes right up around through here, and I'm going to use the same hole in the firewall, just slip it in the grommet right beside it, attach that one, the red lead, to the battery side, and then I'm going to take the return side of this little guy. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to mount it right in here on the passenger side to this piece of plastic. I'm going to take this piece of plastic off and pop me a couple of holes, wrap that, probably just zip tie the thing to this piece of plastic. If you can see, there's some steel right in there. I'm going to take that bolt out right there, and I'm going to use that for my return, because it's frame ground. The return, or the ground side, goes to the frame anyway. No sense in running a lead all the way up there to the battery when you don't have to. It actually helps the drain on the piece of equipment. So I'm gonna get started here, taking things apart and making holes and pulling the wire, and I'll come back here in a minute. Oh, and one other thing, if you're thinking about doing this and you're thinking, well, where would I get that wire and all, you know, you can get it at a Granger. Home Depot may even have it, or Lowe's. I'm not sure, but I know a Granger or a Gray Bar, either one, would have the terminals and the cable. But if it were me and I didn't have access to this leftover cable from a job, I believe what I'd do is I'd go buy a set of jumper cables, a set of cheap $10 jumper cables for a car, and some terminal lugs that would fit them, and I'd cut them clamps off and snake me a set of jumper cables up through there to power the thing. But anyway, I'm going to get to work. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright guys, she's installed and tested, works good, and just like I said, I took the return side and bolted it right straight to the frame, well, not to the frame, but to a part of the body, and so it's grounded well and it works fine. And I took the hot lead, just one wire, across to the driver's side. through there with the cable for the hood release. And there we are. And there we are. We come out of the firewall. You can't see it back in there, it's too dark, but right there to the positive lead on the battery. And we've got 300 watts of AC power right there, just ready to go at any point in time. Just hit the button. It's on and working. And there, it's off and not causing you any drain to your battery. So, you know, and I was thinking, I've done this to a couple of cars in the past, and I used this same setup in a little road car I had, a little Honda, and I was down in Florida somewhere. Well, no, you know, I ain't sure exactly where I was at, but I checked into a little mom and pop hotel, and that little, you know, it come a storm that afternoon, and I mean, it was some kind of rocking. I mean, it was bad. The power went out at the hotel, and I didn't really, you know, in the room with me, I didn't have a radio, nothing to keep up with the weather at all. So I went out and I cranked that little car up and run me an extension cord into the room, plugged up the TV, and sure enough, the cable was still working. Flipped it over to the news, and I had news. And you know, of course, it was dark in the room, so I had the curtains open. And the owner come strolling by, and he saw that I had my TV on, and he knocked on the door. Well, of course, the door was cracked open for the extension cord, but I saw him peeking in, and I told him what the weather was like. Before I knew it, I had about half the hotel standing around outside my room with the door open, yakking and just finally I just spun the TV around so we could sit there and watch it under the stairwell, or under the you know, it was under the walkway for the second floor. But anyway, so you know, it can be right handy having a little inverter close by. Same situation happens at your home and you don't have a generator. Go out, crank the car up, flip the inverter on, run you an extension, you know, pull it around close to the bedroom window or close to the door where the television is, run you a cord in. 9 times out of 10, when your power goes off, you hadn't really lost your cable too. You might, but if you got a way to power that TV back up, you might you know, might help you out, get you your news. So anyway, guys, y'all have a great day. Hope your weekend was wonderful. I'm going back to the garden now. See ya.